We've always created sheets by clicking on this first icon in the bottom, but we also want to be able to create a dashboard. And that's the second icon next to it, New Dashboard. This same icon is available on top as well by clicking on this little drop down, select New Worksheet or New Dashboard. Okay. Take a look at the Q&A in the chat. Everything's still good. Okay. The core principles of a dashboard. So a dashboard contains multiple sheets. But of course, you'll see that the display of data is totally different from on our sheet level. I no longer can create visualizations here. That's only on the sheet level. I can only drag sheets on top of a dashboard. Here you finally see why some good naming is crucial, because I can hover over all of my available visualizations and see what's in there. Okay, there are some objects I can use. I can play with the size. It seems I can create specific phone or tablet layouts as well. But the first thing you should always think about is what's the size of my dashboard. At this moment, Tableau has chosen for the size. It's also the default he goes through. It's a width 1000 pixels against a height of 800 pixels. That means no matter how big or small your screen is, it will always be these dimensions. If you open this on a huge screen or a very small laptop, it will always be the same dimensions. That's what this fixed size option means. That's why we're going to make it a bit easy to create our first ever dashboard and choose for automatic. Automatic will always fill all of the available space that you see on your screen. My screen is now entirely filled. If you are doing this on a huge additional monitor, you will have a lot of space, more space than I have. It purely looks at the current dimensions of the screen you're working on at this moment. Okay, the first thing a dashboard always needs is a title. In the bottom left, you'll see this little check mark called Show Dashboard Title. You click on that one, and it says Dashboard 1. It took the word Dashboard 1 because our sheet or our dashboard title in the bottom also says Dashboard 1. So two ways of changing this, either double-clicking in your dashboard or rename the sheet in the bottom. I feel that double-clicking in the dashboard gives you some more freedom on the font and the colors and the size. So let's do it this way. My first dashboard Superstar. Something like this, you can choose your own title. I always have the habit of not making it too big, and 15 points is as big as I go. Okay. My first dashboard Superstar. Good. What do I want to do? Let's browse to my different visualizations. I am interested to see the profit per subcategory, my scatter plot, and my own logic that I created in my map. Maybe our sales through time as well. So let's begin with our sales through time. So your line chart, I'm just going to drag it in and drop it. Because we are using in the bottom left the option that is called tiled, Tableau will always fill the available space there is in our current dashboard. That's why our line chart is so big at this moment. I got a question regarding thanks for this intro. Is there some more advanced stuff we'll tackle as well? I'm going to show you what's coming up in the next few days and weeks as well of free trainings afterwards, but these free trainings are already listed on our Tableau, on our Bistory website as well. So you can definitely check out what's coming up in the next few days and weeks on our website if you have to leave at this point. Jumping back into our dashboard. Okay, so we have a first visualization shown on our dashboard. We made sure that we have a title, and I wanted to have my profit per subcategory as well. So drag your profit per subcategory, and now you'll see that the way of dropping elements in there has changed a bit. You'll see these different gray blocks appearing where Tableau thinks you can drop it in. I'm going to drag it a bit to the top of my line chart so it's above it in my dashboard. something like this. The next part would be my scatter plot. I'm going to drag right next to my bar chart on the right side, like this. Let's try if my own map with my own logic can be added on the right side of my scatter plot as well. It's a bit cramped, so let's change the ratio of our different visualizations. It doesn't really matter that you add 4, 3, or 2. If you can just follow along with the principles, that's the most important part right now. From the moment you hover on the borders of your different visualizations, you'll see you can play along with the amount of space it takes and uses. So play along a bit with the formatting and the look and feel of your different visualizations to put them next to each other. Okay. Knowing this looks quite okay, but still lots of chaos. There are a few things we need to fix. First of all, on the right side, you'll see by default, Tableau will always add all of your color legends, filters, size legends, highlighters, always on the right side. But it's crammed a bit, it sticks to my map. That's why one of the objects that could be really useful on the left side is what's called a blank. You can always use a blank, and it's nothing more than what it says. It adds some blank space, some white space between the elements you prefer. You can add blanks everywhere you like to make sure it doesn't stick to each other. It takes a bit of practice because a blank can certainly make sure that your visualization jumps and becomes way smaller, so you have to play with it a bit. But think of a blank as a total empty space you can just put between your different visualization to make it a bit more clear for everyone to interpret your dashboard. That's a useful element, the first useful element. Okay, what's next? It's still some chaos on the right side because there's too much in here and not everything, it's not clear where everything belongs. So my profit, I think it's quite clear if I look at my bar chart that red is negative and green is positive. So I'm going to remove my color legends by just selecting it and clicking on the little X icon. Quantity is not super clear where it belongs. So it actually belongs next to my scatter plot. So by hovering over it, you'll see these two broad lines on top of it, which means you can drag it to your scatter plot. But look how much space it takes when I do that. It just takes up too much space in my existing dashboard. So I want to make this element floating. By clicking on the little option arrow of my legend, you'll see the option called floating. Once I click on floating, you can basically drag it on top of your visualization and put it wherever you like or where it fits best. Could be next to your title, could be wherever you feel it fits best. As an example, I'll put it here for now. Okay, what else do we have? Quantity on the right side. I'm going to remove my quantity, my highlighter, I'll remove that one as well, my sales one as well, and color code estates I'll keep. So, and in my dashboard, I only keep my region and color code the state ones. There's one thing that bothers me, and that is that my region filter starts at the same height as my title. So I'm also going to add a small blank on top of that one. Could also be quite challenging and take some practice, and it's not really necessary to follow along at this point. Two more things I'd like to fix. From the moment I start filtering my region filter, I can see that it only filters my map. That couldn't be the idea. I want to make sure that my filter on the right side filters all of my visualizations, or at least the one I wanted to filter. We can always select our filter that it has this gray border around it, so we can see this little drop-down arrow appearing. If we click on the little drop-down, we'll see we have the option called Apply to Worksheet, the second option from the top. Here you can either say all using this data source, at this case is the most interesting one, or selected worksheets if you prefer to have some more control. So selected worksheets is the one I'm going to use at this moment. And you'll see it lists all of the worksheets that you have used in your dashboard. That means I can also choose that this filter only works on 2 visualizations, for example. But let's make it easy and just click on all on dashboard in the bottom here. And click on OK. The exact same would have been by choosing here, all using this data source. If I now start to filter, you'll see that all of my visualizations start to change. One more thing. If I click on a bar, I want my other visualizations to filter based on that selection. That's quite straightforward. So from the moment you have something clicked or selected in this visualization, you see that these options pop up. We know the option arrow already, but the icon on top of it is called Use as Filter. So click on Use as Filter to make sure that all of your other visualizations start filtering based on the selection you made in here. Of course, now we have to be aware that it's something dangerous we actually did, because the logic we created ourselves in here on our map will still say if it's bigger than 250,000. But of course, because we now filtered only on paper subcategories in the office supplies, there's a slim chance that there will still be elements bigger than 250,000. So that's why if you use this way of working with a dashboard, it could be best to stick with a default profit on top of your map, for example. It's always possible to select multiple items.